Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
Now, you said something earlier on about women in Rotary and everything. What would be your advice to other women who are aspiring, to get into the #1 position in their fields or in the organizations or associations that they belong to? What would be your advice, having broken the jinx in District 9110 Nigeria?
Generally, I would say that oftentimes, probably women feel that they do not have the capacity, or they believe, though they have, but they believe that they don't have the capacity and they don't come out to make themselves available to take up challenges. When I was trying to see how to put up the committees and who's going to lead the committees, I have a little bit of some challenge, the fact that some areas where women should even be on top to be the one to lead, the female are very few. Because either they have not been up there to an extent that they can come up to assume such positions. So, and it's not likely to be peculiar to only Rotary. I believe that all organizations too, they have such females that have the capacity but will not just come out to make themselves available. Anybody who must excel in anything must first come out to say, let me try. It's not about, I cannot. It's about trying, give it a try. Even if you fail, it's not the end of the world. If I became the governor nominee, I told them in my I said, look, going up, please, I don't want any expectation that it must be. If it doesn't come my way, that is just God's design. Therefore, if I feel like going for it the second time, I will. And if I feel that I don't want to go again, I'll just forget about it. So it is not about the fact that you must be, but giving it a thought.
A shot.
And trying to get it right. Yes.
Interesting. Now, what makes a good Rotarian? Who is a good Rotarian?
A good Rotarian must start from being a good person yourself. Someone who has discipline, someone who has integrity, someone that can be a role model to others, someone that people will see and they will say, oh, what this person has done truly shows that he is indeed a Rotarian, a man, a woman of impeccable character. The person who will stand by his or her words, somebody who is not partial, somebody who will deal with things with equity, an objective person, somebody who will obey the rule of law. You understand? So those are the characters of a good Rotarian. Somebody who is ready to serve, to be a servant leader, somebody who is ready to give, somebody who is ready to serve the community, no matter how small that person is. You are ready to serve and become the least among the peers. Somebody who is supposed to listen to others, to get their own points of view. Somebody who is ready to deliver when given an assignment. Somebody who is straightforward. I can continue on and on.
All right. I know you can go on and on and on and on and on. Now, what is the sweetest thing about being a Rotarian?
The sweetest is when you see the outcome of what you have put into a service project. I recall that when I was president and we visited this Ajeromi Ifelo General Hospital in Ajegunle to ask for their what they needed, and it was incubators. You know, if newborns are born and there are no places to put them temporarily, of course they're going to lose the babies. So that time the club was able to give them one incubator, and they were monitoring the outcome of the project. When we went back later, and I saw a baby inside that incubator, something struck me. That if that one had not been provided, this baby probably wouldn't be alive. Now, when you have built a school, pupils or students either had been sitting on tires, had been sitting on the floor, and those are situations that we have found and are still occurring in our schools. And then you now get to that school and you find these students sitting on beautiful chairs, and they have facilities like the projector. These are kids that we think would not have done well because they do not have the right facility to use. But here we are. They now gave them those facilities and they are doing well. How would you feel as a Rotarian? Yes. When I saw the school built by Rotary Club of Maryland, where it was commissioned at Wasimi Village, I was there. Everybody was, in fact, we were shocked of what we saw. A school that was fully equipped with all what the students would need. Even including a bathroom. I'm sure teachers don't need to have their bath in school. So show you the level of comfort given to them. So that is the joy to see the outcome of what we put into Rotary.
Interesting. Now, have you ever regretted, or is there anything you don't like about Rotary? Let me not talk about regret now. Is there anything you don't like about Rotary? Is there anything you don't like about being a Rotarian?
Well, so far, yes, not everything could be okay. There are areas that definitely one would not like to see, really. What I believe is for you, we don't know how many people are listening, so I don't want it for human consumption, for everybody's consumption.
The one is listening, no.
Yes, exactly. So, but like I said, in any organization, there is no way. That is why there's avenue for feedback. That is why the leader must have listening ears. Listen to what people are talking about. See how much you can correct. If I have not found it to be good so far, at least 90% good, I would have checked that a long time ago. For me to still be there, it means that I've derived value from it and I see Rotary as good.
Interesting. We'll still come back to Rotary, but before we do that, I need us to shift. I want to defocus the interview a little bit. You started out as a teacher. What makes a good teacher?
A good teacher must be selfless. A good teacher is that teacher that the students will see later and will acknowledge. A teacher that the student will see later and appreciate. A student that when all students, the alumni, when they have programs, they're looking forward to seeing you, to acknowledge, to pray, to even give you something. That's been a good teacher. If you have not added value to the life of your student, even if both of you met in a bus and that student is sitting down, he will not offer you a seat. He will say, good for you, continue standing. A good teacher, yes. If your student will meet you, you are standing, before you call Jack Robin, you say, this is my teacher, you might have your seat. I remember the day I fell down at Alaba Market. I went to the market and I fell down. You know one thing? Anytime I had an issue, or I still have an issue, and somebody quickly comes forward to say, oh, I want to help you. The first one I'm going to, when I look at them, ask you, are you ever my student? Have you crossed my path before? And truly, they are my own students. When I fell at Alaba Market, I fell down flat. It was my student that carried me up. When I went to this gallery at Amadu Bello, when we went to watch the movie, I had no place to park. It was a student of mine that came to say, you don't know me, you are my teacher. I will look for a place for you to park. And he looked for a place for me to park.
Interesting.
And they had an all student gathering, and I was invited. I was given money.
Interesting.
Money. Just last week again, another school I taught had a program, and they continued persistently.
Interesting.
They called me to be part of the program. And that program was full of praises because I saw a seed in them, a seed of success. I had a slogan as a teacher, and that slogan I tell my students all along the years is that you must pass. You must. It's a must. You must be successful. You must. You must. You must. And so all my energy are tailored to my student being successful, first in myself as a biology teacher and being as a school principal. My teachers should know that. You must see them as your own children and give them all what it takes for them to be successful, no matter the fact that they are in the public school.
Interesting. Now, of all the professions in the world, why did you settle for the teaching profession?
Very good. I had a mentor. My late father was my mentor. My father was an educator par excellence. A man of Sakoba. If you ask Sakoba, anybody
Sakoba
is Sakoba, St. Andrew's College Old Boys Association. Anybody that attended that school must be a fantastic teacher. He was an alumnus of St. Andrew's College, Oyo. He was a teacher, supervisor of schools. He later became a permanent board member of Ibadan Barapa Local School Education Board, and he has served in various capacities. And one I know this my father for, when he was in that capacity as a board member, many people have visited our homes wanting to bribe him either to change their posting, where they have posted them to as either a teacher or head teacher. They have brought items that I can recall this an incident when somebody almost fell down with gallons of palm oil that he brought to our house to give my father. And by the time my father sent him, he almost fell down from his staircase together with his palm oil. He was a man of absolute integrity. I copied, all of us, my students copied the same thing from him, to do things with integrity and to be objective in our dealings. Having seen the part that he took as a teacher, and how so many lives have been molded, so many people lived in our house, so many people became successful through him. He trained them in school, so many others to mention. I felt, I could do the same that he's doing. So I did it out well. He himself wanted him to be a medical doctor, but within me, I told him, this man does not even know that I don't want to see all these things that has to do with all these dirty things they see in the hospital. So the first thing that I applied for when I finished my school was for education, and at my first attempt, when I wrote my prelim examination, I became successful. So I didn't even want to think of any other profession. I just settled for it. And the rest is story.
Interesting. Now, you rose to become a school principal. What makes a good school principal?
Principals are appointed based on performance. There is a system of appraisal in the school system, because continuously we have people from, they call them inspectors there. They change them to quality assurance officers, or officers for monitoring and evaluation. So it's a periodic thing. So as a teacher, they come and say, you want you to do your subject inspection. They take the reports back to the education district office or Ministry of Education, as the case may be. And progressively, when you become a vice principal, I became vice principal, the same thing occurs because I have my shadow as vice principal. So there was no time, I can tell you emphatically, maybe my colleagues are listening, or people that have worked with me, if they are listening here, they would know that what I'm saying is just the 100% truth. There had never been any time that inspectors had been to my school to watch my performance as a teacher, or as a sectional leader that I have had a negative feedback.
Mm.
In fact, all what must be put in place must have been put in place in terms of maybe query or whatever that are due to any defaulting officer. They will now face them. That your vice principal had this, they're all in your file. And I document a lot. Let me tell you something. Documentation was what had always worked for me. So when issues are going to be discussed, I refer to the documents in the files. I don't talk with mouth. And I've always trained those those trained, those that work with me, that look, you cannot defend any claim with words of mouth. You can only defend your claims with what is written down that can be verified. So that was my tool. I keep records too much for comfort. Yes. And so I was able to deliver very well. It was not difficult for them to identify me as somebody who could lead a school. And I was finally appointed to become a principal in 1993 December.
Interesting. Now, you currently run your own school. Why did you set up your own school? Why did you set up a school?
Well, setting up the school came up in 1996. And I was still in service. And naturally, you are not even expected to be running a system like that when you are in school. So I didn't even run it. But my husband and I, the two of us, were involved. In fact, he actually applied for the process of approval, and I was working in my office. And let me also tell you this. I can also tell you this, that even when I was in service and the school was running, even the performance evaluation that I had was even better than before the school came up, because I never left my official duties to attend to school duties to the detriment of my official duties. I will attend to the school, my own school affairs after school hours. You can never find me in that school during normal school when I would be at my own duty post that government gave me. Never. But I will give advice from the back to my husband, who was implementing until I retired.
Interesting.
So
why did you set up the school? Why what stands the school out?
I needed to give back to the society. I mean, what I know how to do and how to do well. When I had now left the government, all those I'm now giving those services to, what could have happened to them? I saw myself as somebody who could still give more beyond the government setting. Give more within my community. The school started as a community school where they were paying very little. You understand now? And all children of everybody within the community, they were coming to that school. Why? So I was able to give back. I saw it as a challenge. My mother-in-law also ran a school in Ibadan. And when he was retiring, she called me and said, look, I want to retire from this service at 70. Look at all the facilities I have. Look at all the equipment that I have. I don't want to sell them, but I think you can make use of them. That was the beginning of now, the determining factor to start at the time when it started. We brought all those items to Lagos, and I decided that these ones must not waste. Let us set up our own school. And I told my husband, I think it's time to set up a school, to serve the community. Your mother has encouraged me to start one, and therefore we are going to start. And because his mother was involved anyway, I
like that.
Implement the project so she can be having good feedback. So
interesting.
Started. Yes.
Interesting.